As cliché as it sounds, 11 battles with himself day in and day out to be better. The trading fanatic now feels ready for more incredible things. He thinks back on his battles with the ice armadillo and earth rats, but he feels his potential was not unleashed. The recent visit of the wind lion made him feel pressure like never before. His new target is unlocked. The Iron Eater is impressively self-aware. He knows that he hasn't reached the chief rank beast's level. Beasts at that level can wield extreme pressure on young beasts like 11. There have been situations where they can instantly wipe out lower ranked beasts just by the pressure they give off. Good thing that 11 hit it off with the wind lion. Maybe he can ask for tips and tricks on getting stronger. Sovereign ranked beasts possess the skill Intimidate. Remember the Snow Wolf King? Shi Yu is pleased that he already has a copy of Intimidate. Just the thought of 11 learning the skill makes the tamer excited for the kingly qualities they will obtain. Shi Yu is looking forward to his pet beast learning sovereign rank abilities. Their journey to the unexplored dimension may be the first significant test of their abilities. This time, it's not only 11 and Shi Yu. They want to bring the green cotton worm along. Though we know that the worm's skills have improved, we have never seen it leave the house. The worm was startled when Shi Yu asked him to come along. Tamers will be scored through the rarity of defeated beasts and resources found during wilderness training. Warman Shi Yu has the bright idea to shoot silk webs everywhere to easily collect resources while 11 takes care of combat. The worm was very shocked by this news. Will it be alright? Our new A-team meets with Dr. Liu in their residence the following day. She returned. Shi Yu's trust was not betrayed. She gives him his ID, money, and promised recommendation letter. As part of Department 11, the ID provided to Shi Yu will permit him to explore most ruins, including the Pingqing ruins. Shi Yu was handed the items. He must already be thinking about how to use everything to his advantage. Another notable place that Shi Yu can go to using his new privilege is the Ice Dragon Ruins. Dr. Liu reminds Shi Yu first to get promoted as a professional because of how dangerous it is to go there. She crosses her arms and sternly tells him that he will freeze to death at his current level. Shi Yu does not seem fazed as he asks if he will get bodyguards if he decides to go. Do you not have a single ounce of fear in your bones? Bodyguards can be requested if he is exploring the Ice Dragon Ruins, but he cannot have them if he goes to the unexplored dimension. Shi Yu then steers the conversation to learn more about the unexplored dimension. Even though Shi Yu does not seem to care about how dangerous Ice Dragon Ruins is, he apologizes to Mr. Statue for having second thoughts about pushing through with the mission, depending on how risky it will be. Dr. Liu asks Shi Yu if he knows that unexplored dimensions are former taming dimensions. He nods in response to confirm that he is aware. The current situation in Pingqing Ruins shows that the dimension is unstable. They had already experimented and concluded that only interned tamers could enter it with no problem because high-ranking taming dimensions repel the unexplored dimension. The unexplored dimension is a challenge-type ruin modified by the tamer that previously owned it. They assume that this was created to train the new breed of tamers in mind. Going in would mean that a tamer would be transported to different environments. This means that no matter how many tamers they send in, they will explore the dimension alone. Is this good news? Because we know that Shi Yu prefers going solo. Tamers will face clones of elemental beings and will only be able to move to the next environment by defeating them. Currently, they have the tamer army trying to explore the ruins. What they know is that the ruins are comparable to a challenge with stages, with a boss each round, it seems. Dr. Liu stares at Shi Yu seriously as she admits that Pingqing's intern tamers could not rise to the challenge. It was decided that other districts would be allowed to explore the ruins if they could not find tamers in their district that could make progress, but that would mean an opportunity lost for the city. Shi Yu's only concern is knowing how dangerous it is inside. The information gathered shows that elemental beings defeat the challengers and avoid slaying them, which is not guaranteed if the tamer is too weak. Shi Yu gets worried about that information. The worst-case scenario is clearly not only a dangerous situation, but a deadly situation. Dr. Liu gives a website link and an invitation QR code to Shi Yu so that he can get breeding materials with discounts and rewards. Shi Yu is such a sucker for good deals. She reiterates that Shi Yu using the resources available to him now will help him quickly become a professional tamer. Shi Yu is reminded to forget about Ice Dragon Ruins and to make the unexplored dimension his top priority. I don't think he's concerned about that. Dr. Liu is the one always bringing it up. Department 11's newest recruit decides that the task given to him is too dangerous for him to pursue. Did he forget that this is part of his test to become an official member of the organization? His main task when exploring the ruins is uncovering Glacier City's true history. Dr. Liu assures him that he does not have to clear the entire ruins to achieve his goal because he can get clues inside the individual environments using his hearing ability. She was also reminded of how he triggered the ruins to appear, which means he is strong enough. Dr. Lu instructs Shi Yu to go to the bamboo rock gym and have 11 learn 2 new skills. It's like she can't hear how worried Shi Yu is. Well, they gave him all the resources to get stronger, but it is still human nature to be cautious. The Tamer agrees and decides that the safest route is to go through the test organized by the Tamers Association. Knowing that he is strong enough to pass the test would make him confident that he will survive. Dr. Lu leaves while Shi Yu firmly decides that staying alive is his #1 priority. In Shi Yu's survival instincts, we trust. Instructions are received and will be followed. Shi Yu holds his ID tightly, remembering that he does not need it to enter the ruins in the meantime. He holds his money tighter on the other hand. That's more important. He has all these second thoughts about going to the ruins, but the rush he feels by imagining the adventure he is about to take triumphs. Or maybe he looked at the money and imagined all the future treasures he would receive if he succeeded in this mission. Dr. Lu is done with her business and leaves Shi Yu's house. Department 11's new probationary member is talented and has a clean background, but is not strong enough for the upper echelon to provide resources. She gave him many things. What kind of stuff will you be able to receive once you are a part of the organization? House and lot, your own city, gold bars. Anyway, Dr. Lu pushed him to investigate Glacier City's true history to train Shi Yu. She wants to work with him and plans to make him his assistant. 6 months from now, she hopes that Shi Yu will take and pass the professional exam. While holding the stuff the rich woman dropped off, Shi Yu informs his pet beasts that they now have no choice but to work hard. He opens his probationary ID now that he is associated with Department 11, a powerful organization with influence on Eastern Glory ruins. The importance of a career in archaeology on the Blue Planet is more evident now. Ruins contain secrets of the world and are related to totem-ranked and legendary beasts. Knowing about how runes work became a game changer. The annoyingly smug look on Shi Yu's face says it all. He feels secure knowing that he has access to deciphering the secrets of the ruins, which he sees as the key to reaching legendary rank. He is impressed that he was able to join a high-ranking organization that will allow him to get legendary rank tamers as bodyguards. With all his luck so far, does Shi Yu need to be humbled? Well, as long as he knows that when great things come, troubles come with it. When I start to doubt, thankfully, Shi Yu returns to his logical self. He is still beaming in happiness as he puts the ID inside his pocket for safekeeping. In the meantime, the worm sees a swirling green light that starts to appear around 11. What does this mean? Shi Yu saw it too and knew that this meant that his Iron Eater had leveled up. He reaches out his hand to pat his pet beast on the head for a job well done, and notices that 11 is now 1 meter tall. 11 was surprised and only noticed when his tamer pointed it out. Our 11 is growing so fast but still as cute as ever. Shi Yu observes that 11 has grown twice his size since they met and assumes that it is normal for a growing beast. Shi Yu brings his 11 a metal core wood dish to celebrate. Both 11 and the worm were happy about it. While the worm watches the Iron Eater munching on his reward happily, their tamer takes out his phone to check their stats. 11 at level 6 and the worm at level 4. Shi Yu proudly knows that the beasts he is raising are not ordinary because their skills are higher than anyone at the same level. Because, skill handbook advantage. He smiles as he starts thinking about what score he will get at the Wilderness Practical Test the Tamers Association is holding. Shi Yu went to the Tamers Association to register for the test and was surprised by the number of people at the venue. This got him thinking a lot. He knows that only tamers with potential will be chosen to train in the ruins. He walks through the crowd with the mindset that qualifying not only determines who will enter the ruins, but is also a test to see who can take the professional tamer exam. While waiting, he overhears other participants talking about how this everyone might be here because of the unexplored dimension. It seems like he is not the only one who thinks so. A black-haired woman greets the crowd waiting. She announces the test details, asking participants to go to Tianmeng Mountain from July 28 to 30, which is 3 days from today. The meeting place would be at the training grounds before 9 a.m. Anyone late will have their participation forfeited and their registration fee refunded. She asked them to proceed to the lobby to confirm other details. Shi Yu thanked the lady and proceeded to the lobby as instructed. The MC pays the registration fee of 10,000 bucks. Our millionaire does not need to be concerned about the cost. The Budget King has no complaints knowing the experience of being in a professional team is worth it. After 3 days, Shi Yu arrives at Tianmeng Mountain without a problem. There is already a crowd when he arrives. Many people took the late warning seriously. Suddenly, someone calls his name from behind. Shi Yu looks around to see a familiar uniform and glasses. The old man comes to his side quickly, saying he knew he would come. Shi Yu shouts in surprise, thinking that impure spirits are harassing him before the test. Who or what is this guy? He looks familiar. The familiar-looking guy asks Shi Yu to calm down and introduces himself again. It was Chen Kai. We knew that. We just wanted to overreact with Shi Yu. Shi Yu worries that the student consumed a lot of supplements because the person standing before him looked dead inside. Chen Kai ignores his concern and feels proud of his efforts, which made his ice armadillo reach level 7. The top student looked up to Shi Yu clearly, seeing how he believed and followed every word he said. Aside from the visibly worrying physical condition, Shi Yu also wonders if coming to the exam is the right move for Chen Kai after 11 defeated the ice armadillo. He wants to know if his friend came alone and is relieved to hear that Chen Kai's classmates and teacher are there. Are Yu Wei and Yu Jingjing here too? Chen Kai is maybe reminded of the last time they saw each other and excitedly asks Shi Yu if he had heard of the statue exploding incident. Shi Yu feels proud of being the reason that thing happened but keeps it to himself. I can still remember how he panicked when it first happened though. Good times. The ruins activator decides to change the topic and asks the student not to push himself too much. His reminder is met with Chen Kai's passion for chasing his and his beast ice armadillo's potential. Chen Kai looked proud of his drive and hard work and was confident that he could show results with this test. With a large number of applicants, people will be split to 100 per location, where only the top 20 participants will pass. Chen Kai is unsure if he will be qualified to enter the ruins, but Shi Yu assures him that 1 out of 5 odds is not bad for an outstanding student with a level 7 ice armadillo. The top student was still not confident enough when reminded of his bad loss with 11. It feels like it happened so long ago, but don't worry. This memory only inspires Chen Kai. Knowing that if Shi Yu's Iron Eater can exceed its growth level, his ice armadillo can do it too. The two start to walk toward the training grounds. They talk about their experience in similar events. Chen Kai shares that their school has done a similar smaller-scale event, which does not compare to this exam, while Shi Yu smiles and lets him know that this is his first time. Chen Kai recalls that Shi Yu is a breeding major and wouldn't have had the same opportunity as him. Shi Yu takes the time to look around and realizes that this is his first time visiting a dangerous place since his transmigration. We have seen this tamer pick the safe and logical route with meticulous planning all this time. This change of pace excites Shi Yu. He remembers their teammates in the last mission and asks Chen Kai if they are also taking the exam. Unfortunately, Yu Jingjing was not allowed by her parents and Yu Wei's Iron Eater was not yet competent. Somewhere in the crowd, Chen Kai's classmate calls out to him. He starts running towards them and waves goodbye to Shi Yu. Now left alone, our favorite tamer starts to observe his surroundings and sees men standing in line wearing camouflage and helmets and standing with their standard issue beast dogs. He wonders if these are hired by a security company or part of the tamer army. They all look the same. Shi Yu contemplates how his life would have gone if he joined the tamer army instead. Aside from not having freedom, having his training covered and automatically getting assigned jobs was not bad for him. Shi Yu was also confident that he would have been a ranking officer, but he did not see himself undergoing strict training. If he had that kind of discipline, the unexplored region would not have opened, and this adventure would not have been possible, so all worked out for the best. A man wearing camouflage blows his green whistle to get everyone's attention. He looks like he is about to show his special move, Rolling Thunder, but he doesn't. Instead, he commands everyone to keep quiet, fall in line, and sign the safety responsibility sheet while they listen to the test details. The guy in charge is Zhou Wanshan, who came with 4 professional tamers and a team of security guards. Zhou Wanshan informs everyone that they will receive a booklet after signing the sheet. The hunting handbook will contain corresponding scores and details of beasts and rare resources that the participants will hunt and collect in Tianmeng Mountain. The scores will determine their ranking. Good thing Shi was planned for this scenario. We have a strategy in mind. Everyone will also be given a mobile geopositioning communicator for safety purposes, which participants can use when calling for help. Safety points handled by security guards dressed in dark blue are also available so that people can either call for help if they want to give up on the exam or verify their loot and record their scores. The guy in charge arrogantly announces that the goal is to score as many points as possible in 3 days, as if it was just that easy. It was also confirmed that the top 20 tamers with the highest scores would be qualified to enter the ruins. Now that the rules have been set, let's take it on. The professional tamers take one look at the young crowd and start questioning everyone's survival capabilities. The pro with long eyelashes feels competitive and wants to be an intern again because high-ranking tamers are not allowed to enter the unexplored dimension. Sir Zhou Wanshan silences his underlings and reminds them why they were there, to keep watch and to avoid casualties. Sit back or relax and enjoy the show just like us. Every show has its protagonist, and our main character here is doing what he does best, planning the most efficient course of action. Shi Yu browses through the hunting handbook and sees one earth rat is 20 points, which he decides is not worth the effort. Been there, done that. I'm not sure what comes to our ambitious Shi Yu's mind as he starts to browse the higher point beasts. A totally not recommended hunt is the 4,000 point giant brown snake called berserk python. This is a water type, level 10 middle transcendent beast with skills like berserk and violent whip. Only two can be found in Green Lake and Xiaomang Lake. He assumes that beasts like these are prepared for confident and strong tamers. Shi Yu is more interested in the skill than the beast. Using berserk will give a beast more strength and speed in exchange for losing all sense of reason. The consequence will stop if the skill is mastered to a perfect level, but that would take a long time. Can you even imagine a berserk iron ear? His training maniac pet beast would be rushing into walls and cracking floors, probably. He stops imagining an unstoppable iron ear when he sees a level 10 big, angry ball of electricity called electric slime. It's a middle transcendent beast with skills called amplify and electric shock. Looks can be deceiving. It looks just like something you can keep in your pocket. 3 exist in the magnetic zone and are also definitely not recommended to hunt. Shi Yu seems surprised to see slime in the list of beasts because having one here in Eastern Glory means it is sourced from other nations. This means we're totally ignoring the totally not recommended warning. Once Shi Yu sees the skill, Amplify, he remembers that this skill allows the beast to shift size at will with added advantages. Shrinking makes it beast save stamina and quicken recovery. Megamorphing will make the beast grow bigger while gaining strength in exchange for speed. Imagining this on 11 looks perfect. Shi Yu closes the handbook and decides that he wants this skill. This is his only opportunity since slime beasts are not local inhabitants in this nation. The scheming guy looks disappointed when his planning phase is interrupted when the guy in charge reminds everyone that they have 30 minutes left to purchase food and medicine at the nearby store. Participants can only leave the mountain after 3 days unless absolutely necessary. Can you also buy survival instincts too? 1 extra life, please. After getting his mobile geopositioning communicator, Shi Yu goes to the store and wants to purchase a storage item, but grabs non-conductive gloves instead. Is there nothing available? Being able to bring more means being able to bring more survival gear. He was aware of a huge spatial item that can be found in the Pingqing ruins that can even store living creatures. You cannot even get that today. Think of how to survive now. Chen Kai called out to him before he could finish that thought. Shi was annoyed that he was interrupted but heard his friend out. Chen Kai looks super pumped and asks him to form a party to hunt the berserk python. He and his classmates have made a solid plan to restrict the snake's movement using ice armadillo, and they have an electric-type beast that can electrocute fish in the lakes. Shi was surprised that they can form parties and is doubtful about how the spoils will be distributed. We have no idea how many of Chen Kai's classmates participated here. Would this be a good idea? It's true that no rules regarding teamwork are said, and the student group believes there are enough rare resources around the python's lakes for them to gain enough points. The loner politely declines the offer because he has another target and waves goodbye to the disappointed Chen Kai. That's just his personality. Shi Yu prefers to do stuff alone. They go their separate ways, and while Shi Yu thinks that doing everything by himself would be more efficient, Chen Kai is plainly disappointed because he wants to observe his idol more. The clock ticks 10 a.m., and everyone is asked to move out and enter the mountain from any entrances. Mechanical birds were sent to track, investigate, and monitor the participants throughout the test. In the control room, Jiu Wanshan asks the other professional tamers to focus on monitoring beasts with 4,000 points because they are more likely to have casualties in that area. We know one is going solo there. They acknowledge this command and focus on the monitoring screens. Shi Yu summons 11, who immediately looks for an opponent. Let's pause a minute. Was the worm in Shi Yu's backpack all this time? It suddenly appears on his shoulder. The team is assembled, and they start to make their way to the target. 11 energetically jumps around as he is instructed to keep an eye out. They are definitely going to the magnetic zone through the boar forest. Shi Yu plans to hunt some spiked boars first. Spiked boars look exactly like how their name sounds and are known to be powerful and hard to defeat. With that logic, these beasts would definitely be worth points. The A-team sees one when they are hiding out in bushes. Shi Yu thinks that this situation is perfect for warming up. Are they planning a surprise attack? The tamer whips out his handy phone and looks up the spiked boar's information. But the click is so loud I think it can be heard through the whole mountain. I'm exaggerating, but a surprise attack is not an option now, as the spiked boar roars loudly after noticing them. The phone teaches him that this is an Earth-type middle transcendent beast. Its go-to move is tackle, and it has this skill called petrifying fangs that may stun its opponent. Though the worm is terrified, the other two look more excited than ever. Don't worry, the fight has not started yet, but 11 already won in cuteness levels. The less cute beast starts charging towards the bare paws and hams that his eyes lock on. It roars and roars as it runs all its might excitedly. The team sees the beast approaching and gets ready. Our battle chief 11 stands in front of his tamer, prepared for battle. Shi Yu instructs 11 to be cautious of the tusks because it will petrify him and reminds him that the opponent attacks by tackling. Will petrifying fangs affect 11 if he hardens his body? Shi Yu points to the incoming danger and commands his pet beast to go. 11, in fact, did not go. He was raring to do so, but he remained calm. Having calm and 11 in the same sentence is not something I expected. Light envelops his body as he prepares to receive the attack. 11 stands his ground firmly, waiting for the roaring, agitated boar who is not slowing down at all. Shi Yu and the worm goes behind a tree for safety as they watch 11 close his eyes to concentrate on the battle. The spiked boar is already in front of the Iron Eater, who opens his eyes and uses super sight. Shi Yu's pet beast activates his experience level skill, and his eyes start to brighten. The incoming attack is predicted, and 11 jumps above the opponent just before the tusk can touch him. The tackle was easily evaded. The Iron Eater concentrates his energy and puts his whole weight on his fists as it prepares to counterattack. He punches the spiked boar downward. The move makes the boar scream in pain. Super sight for defense and harden for offense. What is 11's weakness? Can anyone tell me? The boar goes flying through the trees and crashes from the impact. 11 lands on his feet and hears the command from his tamer to finish the battle. They give their opponent no chance to recover. The spiked boar is shaking on its feet and struggling to stand up again. Who's the predator now? Its aggressiveness is now replaced with fear as he sees this Iron Eater missile coming at him. 11 makes contact with the beast, breaks its tusk, and immediately makes it unconscious. The team makes an easy 350 points with the super sight plus hardened wombo combo. The battle was not even close. You can say it was a boring fight. Our chief of the loot collection starts to entangle the helpless boar with silk while 11 is celebrating his win. Shi Yu imagines that Chen Kai could also defeat this level of monster, though it would be a little more challenging for him. Our introvert declined the party, but obviously still feels the camaraderie. The end of the silk thread is given to 11 for him to drive the beast they defeated. Shi Yu informs his Iron Eater that it is part of his strength training. He is now tasked to carry the spoils that they will pick up along the way. The Iron Eater is very glad with his newly acquired training equipment. Meanwhile, the monitoring center sees that someone scored the first point in the event. Shi Yu is already ahead in points. They notice that it is of an intern tamer defeating a spiked boar and then entering the boar forest. The observers are surprised by what they see on camera number 0093. This guy just defeated the spiked boar alone with a cub Iron Eater that is barely level 7. It can be seen on the monitor that Shi Yu is walking with his pet beast dragging the spiked boar. They had no time to be nosy and decided to check the footage later when they had the time. Though the intern tamer is strong, they want to continue observing him because Boar Forest is a dangerous place to be. The observers hope that he climbs on a tree for safety. Shi Yu does just that. From above a tree, his team spots 4 boars. He immediately wonders if 11 can take on these boars at one time. 11 looks at his tamer, who is busy weighing the odds, wondering why he is not yet commanded to attack the beasts on sight. They got bored at fighting one. 4 should be more challenging for them. The tamer feels his pet beast bloodlust and asks 11 if he wants to try. Shi Yu points at the beasts below and tells him that he should fight them completely using Harden and assures the Iron Eater that he can do it because his skill is at a proficient level. 11 is excited to do the 4 versus 1 fight. They have seen 11 train so hard that you even have to convince him to rest. 4 boars are nothing to be worried about. Shi Yu lets 11 go alone and lets him know that he and the green cotton worm are cheering him on. 11 walks towards the beasts they were observing earlier, and they immediately notice him approaching. The monitoring team shouts in disbelief, wondering why this group is so fearless. Other people check as they hear a commotion in monitor number 0093. They are brought up to speed because this tamer unbelievably allowed his Iron Eater cub to face 4 spiked boars alone. I mean, anyone would think that is crazy. 11 is so small. Our audience starts to wonder if the last win that this crazy tamer had made him overconfident. They stare at the screen, knowing that a level 10 beast will be having difficulty facing the same challenge. If Shi Yu says that 11 can take this on, I have no reason not to believe it. To be honest, I share the same worries since Shi Yu is always cautious. At the same time, you will start to wish that this challenge will be the challenge because that is what the main characters enjoy. 4 boars stare at the little guy that is walking toward them without worry. All of them seem confused and wonder where this Iron Eater came from. They even assume that 11 is there to give them more food. You fools do not make the rules here. 11 starts taunting them, jumping while making funny faces, and crouching while showing them his behind. What a prankster. Did Shi Yu also teach that? The boar's confused faces are now replaced with rage. They roar in unison as their annoyance gets to the highest level. Even the monitor team cannot believe how the Iron Eater made his opponents angry. All the spiked boars start charging quickly toward 11 at the same time. He looks so tiny as they approach him. 11 stands firm as he starts to channel his proficient level skill, Harden. The Iron Eater grunts as his whole body gets covered in armor. This same technique was used to defend against an ice armadillo attack without a scratch. 11 roughs as he jumps up and kicks the first spiked boar in front of him. It flew away immediately. These boars are not birds, but they like flying. Oh no, another spiked boar tackled 11 with its tusk. The tusk makes contact with 11's body, but our brave buddy withstands it completely. The Iron Eater remains standing on his spot, and instead, wham, he punches his attacker in the face. After that, bam, he tackles it with the full force of his body. The little guy now stands between two unconscious spiked boars as he stares at the two remaining boars, who stop in their tracks. 11's menacing aura reaches them from a distance. Not so little for you anymore, doesn't it? The two surviving boars start to run away hurriedly, looking back to ensure they will not be caught. 11 roughs as he chases them immediately. People watching monitor number 0093 were surprised by the outcome. They were worried for 11 before, but now they call the Iron Eater a boar slayer. The audience starts to notice that the hardened skill is at a proficient level and wonders who the intern Tamer is. Looking at the records, they learn that this intern Tamer is called Shi Yu. Once you start watching Shi Yu, you will not be able to stop. Just ask Chen Kai. It turns out one of the security guards was also an intern at Bamboo Rock Gym and asked him if he knew this person. The Bamboo Rock Gym intern does not recognize Shi Yu. Their conversation is cut short when they notice a green cotton worm sitting on Shi Yu's shoulder. Shi Yu's team already captured the 4 boars, and the worm was doing its job securing the loot. The guards were just talking, and 11 already finished the job. That was fast. This comes as another surprise because intern tamers can only have one contracted beast. The monitoring team assumes that there is no contract between the worm and Shi Yu and is even more amazed. In addition, they also observe that the worm is at a high level, and they make another assumption that it will evolve into a wind crystal butterfly. The monitoring team even bets 1 cigarette that Shi Yu will be in the top 3. I'll bet my pet beast that he would be top 1, if I had one. The watch party ended when the team was called due to a participant's injury. Quick math makes Shi Yu compute that they now have 1,750 points with the 5 spiked beasts that 11 has in tow. Shi Yu wonders if they can eat the boars, which causes 11's stomach to rumble. Same. Hearing about food makes one hungry. Shi Yu stops, sits down, and tells his pet beasts to rest. He brings out a food tray for 11. While 11 is gulping down his lunch, Shi Yu continues to run through his agenda for the day. He sees that after exiting Boar Forest, a safe zone is there. After that, his goal destination is close. Magnetic Mountain Zone, where electric slimes can be found, will be nearby. Suddenly, birds fly out of the forest surrounding them. A voice starts to shout for help. Shi Yu was surprised. They are still in the Boar Forest zone. Surely, they could assist. Shi Yu and 11 ran toward the direction where they heard the cry for help. They move quickly and see not just 1 but 2 tamers running away from 10 boars and trying to find a tree to climb. The tamers who shouted for help are currently still screaming for their lives because they have no idea what to do. The gleaming red eyes of this group of predators would send any average person into a panic. Even their pet beasts are tired of trying to escape the approaching herd. The 2 tamers try to convince Shi Yu to hurry and run away as one starts to climb a tree. Shi Yu ignores them and coolly stands in the open, trying to think if 11 could win this battle. Yeah, Shi Yu is the weird one here. The escaping duo suddenly notices the Iron Eater standing behind this odd guy who is spacing out and sees the mountain of spiked boars that they have gathered. And they were not the only ones who noticed. As they're sensing the boar slayer energy that the newcomer and his pet beast are giving off, the herd of spiked boars suddenly stops running. They turn around, whimpering, trying to escape the 2 demons standing before them. The saved tamers cannot believe that the herd of spiked boars ran away just like that. Not feeling safe, the duo approaches Shi Yu and remembers him being with them at the same entrance. They were shocked at Shi Yu's hunting speed since not much time had passed since they started the test. I was half expecting Shi Yu to brag here, but their savior decides not to entertain their amazement and simply instructs them to go to the outskirts of the forest to find isolated boars. They raise their hands to salute and thank the expert. Shi Yu parts ways with the duo and reflects on his observation of the survival instincts of boars. They were scared and did not want to get close to them. I guess the beasts in the forest need the survival instinct. Shi Yu is clearly the predator here. It's like he left his worries once he entered the mountain. The tamer continues to head to the safety zone because the spoils they are dragging would only slow them down. An announcement to prepare to open the gates can be heard as they are welcomed at a large facility in the middle of the forest as Shi Yu arrives. It's surprising that several people are already in the safe zone before him. But there were early casualties. The injured tamers being taken care of in the safe zone were shocked at his haul of 5 spiked boars. They'd wonder if he did it alone. A tamer, the white dandelion, is healing was injured severely by just 1 boar, so they want to know how powerful Shi Yu is. The delirious patient, on the other hand, does not seem aware of what is going on and starts reaching out to 11, thinking that he has healing capabilities. We know that, but how did he know? The white dandelion got annoyed that its customer was not satisfied with just them alone healing the man. 11 waves at the injured people who wish that he really had a healing skill. It does not matter if they know if he has quick heal or not because they took one look at 11's cute face and felt pretty healed. 11 flashes a peace sign to them to make them feel even better. Do you feel healed too? Shi Yu also greets them by waving his hand. He feels that these tamers are lucky to have a healing beast in the safe zone and thinks about the high possibility of being injured during the test. This happened to these guys in the first part of the forest, and he could not imagine what greater injuries these guys would have if they tried to get it on with the boss. The former Iron Bamboo gym intern greets Shi Yu, who was patting his Iron Eater on the head. He tells him that they have been observing him for a while. Our Shi Yu is now a celebrity. He brings a card for Shi Yu's haul and lets him know that he can assist in registering his score. Shi Yu was relieved by the help offered. Trying to make conversation, Shi Yu asks if he can eat the goods he brought back. The guard asks him how he would like to cook the boars, and Shi Yu responds that he would like to roast them. The new celebrity was advised that although the meat is tasty, there is ample preparation needed for the meat to be edible. Shi Yu was very disappointed because he did not want to eat instant noodles throughout the exam. A tamer named Shi Fei was the current #1 scorer with 1,500 points, but when Shi Yu registered his loot, his 1,750 points took the top spot. Pretty close fight. The professional tamers see the new score on the board. Jiao Wanshen notices that the intern tamer brought back 5 boars using an energetic Iron Eater, but notes that it has only been a few hours. He looks at the monitors again and instructs his underlings again to keep monitoring participants. It's so hard to impress this guy. Shi Yu has to work harder. The Bamboo Rock Gym disciple worked in the gym for a long time but has not seen anything like 11. As he registers Shi Yu's spiked boars, he thinks about the transcendent rank Iron Eater that he raised for 6 years, but only reached proficient level hardened recently. Tamers who raise normal Iron Eaters are so patient. He thinks that Shi Yu is on another level, so he sits down and calls Master Lin, the legendary ranked tamer. He introduced himself as Yan Qi, who was also called Little Bear. Master Lin seems like a not sensitive guy. He asks if this is the same Yan Qi who failed the professional exam 2 years in a row, which is the reason why he started to work in a security company. Little Bear could not deny it and apologized for humiliating the Bamboo Rock Gym. Mister, that was kinda harsh. Yan Qi quickly changes the topic and informs Master Lin that he met an interesting tamer at Tianmang Mountain, who had a 2-year-old cub with proficient level hardened. He asks if this Shi Yu person is a new disciple of the gym. The gym leader starts to stroke his beard and thinks about how unreal his old student sounds. Master Lin tries to reach harder in his brain, thinking they could not have missed an Iron Eater of that caliber if it came from the Iron Bamboo breeding base. 11 was considered a failure when he was there, sadly. No one appreciated his talent for hard work. Master Lin looks concerned and asks for the name again, and Yan Qi repeats, Shi Yu. Suddenly it clicked. It was the relative of Dr. Liu that she wanted to be guided. He was offered a generous gift for this request. Master Lin looks through the records of Shi Yu picking up the Iron Eater and making a contract. It shows that it has not been a month since he had the Iron Eater picked up, and he guesses that Dr. Liu is behind this inexplicable situation. A month? I feel like it has been longer. Shi Yu has long, productive days, does he? He didn't realize how quiet he was while thinking and was brought back to reality after Yan Qi called out. This reminded Master Lin that Shi Yu was at the Tianmang Mountain test. He informs Little Bear that Shi Yu is not yet an official member of the Bamboo Rock Gym, but he may be in the future. He asks his former disciple to teach the potential disciple how to use the magnetic zone as a training ground to prepare his pet beast for the future. Great minds think alike. Shi Yu has been planning to go there, but any additional intel is always welcome. Yanqi starts to cry upon hearing that Shi Yu was getting trained even before joining the gym. Get it together, man. You're fine. Shi Yu is eating his beloved cup noodles when a recovered Yanqi approaches him and introduces himself formally. The security guard relays his former master's instructions. Shi Yu learns that aside from the electric slime, he can also find electric ore in the magnetic zone, which is an ingredient in some iron eater diets. Our brainy tamer knows what an electric ore is, but knows that it is not the most recommended food item. Yanqi asks Shi Yu to come with him while grasping his shoulder. He looks threatening. Shi Yu is worried but goes along with the request. They go to the vending machine, where the two iron eater tamers have a conversation. Yanqi lets Shi Yu know that he is a disciple of Bamboo Rock Gym and asks him if he knows the ultimate moves there. Okay, he is not threatening. He is just trying to help. Shi Yu recalls knowing Lightning Palm and Cannon Punch. Shi Yu always does his research. Still looking cool as a cucumber, Shi Yu puts his hand on his hips and sips from his canned drink. He looks at the man trying to help him and understands where the conversation is going. Yanqi elaborates that iron eaters can master fire and electric type skills. If an iron eater needs to learn an electric type skill, it should consume electrical metallic ores like electric ore. Shi Yu stops him from giving further information and asks why this guy he just met is telling him all of this. This is Dr. Lu's fault for baiting Shi Yu. He developed trust issues. Yanqi further explains that diet is an important part of raising a pet beast. Consuming electric ore is just one of the secrets of Bamboo Rock Gym's unique technique. He cites how making a green cotton worm into a Morpho-Helena butterfly needs multiple food items to achieve. Take down notes, Sir Shi Yu. Tips were given to Shi Yu since he was expected to study under Master Lin. He informs the intern Tamer that eating electric ore would need an experience level hardened skill. Since 11 has a proficient level, his iron eater will not experience any problem with absorbing nutrients. Yanqi continues to relay the information that the magnetic zone would be the best training ground for Shi Yu if he wants to join the gym. Aside from letting his iron eater eat electric ore, getting hit by electric type attacks is part of the basic training for mastering electric palm. His advice is to have 11 try doing it. Yanqi knows that if he got his own iron eater to master that technique, he could have passed the pro exams. Just the thought of the combination of electric palm and harden makes the little bear go a little fanboy mode. Shi Yu thanked him for all the information he provided. Shi Yu is really grateful for the first lesson Master Lin gave him, though he has not gone to the gym yet. It was already his initial plan to go to the magnetic zone, and it gave him more motivation to get going. Shi Yu tells Wormy that they will be going to mine some ores, to which Wormy responds with a terrified look on his face. Let's be supportive, Wormy. You'll gain courage with this adventure. After resting and his long conversation with Yanqi, Shi Yu summons 11 again and tells him that they will be going to get something delicious to eat. 11 looks at Wormy and wonders what the delicious food might be. Hey 11, friend, not food. Their team heads out the gate happily with a new goal in mind. The injured participants see them and remember that this team just captured 5 spiked boars, but they are heading out again. The guys become discouraged by how fearless Shi Yu and his pet beasts are. Guys, follow Chen Kai's lead and be encouraged and inspired. The brave buddies came near the magnetic zone without a problem. Warnings about level 10 beasts are put up before a bridge. It was indicated on the map given to participants that the magnetic field would affect tamers. They pushed through for the sake of electric ores and slimes. Real talk. This looks like it gave them a harder time than the spiked boars. After passing the bridge, they walk on a trail with trees, grass, and rocks in sight. Shi Yu was rubbing his head from the effects of the magnetic field when 11 suddenly roughed to alert his tamer that he saw something. The Iron Eater looked suspiciously at the electric ore they came across. It was surrounded by actual electricity. This does not look edible. This does not even look like you can touch it. Shi Yu suggests 11 use harden before getting one and tasting it. 11 complains and asks if this is a prank. The pet beast is very concerned that these electric charges will give him an upset stomach, which will disturb his training. Thinking of an upset stomach made 11 upset at his tamer. If there is anything that can make 11 doubt his tamer, it makes sense that it would be thinking that this human is just making an excuse for him to stop overworking himself. 11 is assured that he can eat the ore, and Shi Yu explains further that his proficient level harden will help him in doing so. The Iron Eater takes Shi Yu's word and reaches for the electric ore. When his claws touch it, the electricity buzzes upon contact. 11's hair raises as he tries not to let go of what he is holding. Shi Yu was amazed. Amazed at how contrasting 11 versus other beasts is compared to 11 versus electric ore. An inanimate object made this pet beast more hesitant than any other beast they have faced so far. The Iron Eater manages to pick a portion of the ore but lets out a rough as he is electrocuted in the process. 11 lands on his bum and looks at the piece he is holding. It's not hard to imagine how hard this yellow thing will be to crack. Before trying it out himself, 11 wants his tamer to try it first. Shi Yu assures the Iron Eater that the experience level Quick Heal will help him heal immediately if he burns his insides due to the electric charge. Upon hearing that, 11 consumes the yellow ore in his hand with all his might. I have never seen 11 make up excuses to avoid eating. I guess not anyone wants to munch on electricity. Shi Yu is satisfied and knows that with this technique, his pet beast can continue to do this even for 3 days. 11 was grinding the ore on his teeth without a problem. It looks like eating electric ores feels like eating pop rock candies. He is so happy that the ore is edible. The Iron Eater looks like he has gained a significant amount of weight and burps an electric charge. It has not even been a moment, but he asks if they still have more electric ores immediately. Shi Yu winks at him and is happy to accompany him to look further. The Tamer is happy to do so, knowing that Iron Eaters gain an affinity for electricity and will build a kind of electric-type talent if they consume large amounts of electric ores. 11 jumps left and right, eating all electric ores in sight. He is crunching his way through all the roads, not wasting a single piece of the yellow sparkling ores. Getting struck by lightning is also another method they are going to utilize to help increase the development of 11's electric-type skills talent. Our greedy Tamer regrets that the mountain only has one type of ore, but if he does get hold of other types, he is certain that you will be able to develop a new kind of Iron Eater, an avatar of Iron Eaters, master of all elements. For now, that is just a dream. Shi Yu decides to let 11 focus on electric types since it is what is available. The Tamer also starts to see why Yan Qi was fanboying and imagining his Iron Eater mastering hardened paired with electric type skills. Pikachu Panda, master of the electric element. Even Shi Yu daydreams about his own unconventional electric cannon. He imagines destructive long-range skills and gets excited thinking about it. What more if it happens? The imagination is cut short when they come across electric scorpions absorbing electricity from electric ores. They are sticking to the ores, and they seem to be ready to defend the territory with their lives. Shi Yu happily rises up to the challenge of having rivals in their quest. Also seems like the perfect time to check their progress. He commands 11 to take the ores for himself. Mega territory, ours. 11 wants to defend the ores he is eating at the mountain. He runs towards the competition, declaring that he will take all the electric ores himself. The Iron Eater grabs a scorpion tail firmly on his right hand, then another on his left hand. 11 lifts both up and angrily spins the electric scorpions like a lasso. He is taking back what is his. But is it really right for 11 to claim this? The professional tamers who are observing Shi Yu are outraged about what his pet beast is doing. They were called evil overlords invading territories of electric-type beasts. Hey, you were the ones who brought them here. The observers instantly see that 11 has knocked out the 2 scorpions he was flailing around. The no-eyes guy wonders why the Iron Eater is eating electric ores when it can be taken for additional scores. The cap guy assumes that this team is not interested in low-score items but wants to go after level 10 beasts. They seem to be starting at guessing game. Bingo, that's the plan. 1 point for you. They also observe that the Iron Eater is weird with how it had a proficient level harden. That is also correct. This Iron Eater is weird. Another point for you guys. The broken eyebrow guy looked disinterested, but suddenly made sense of the situation where an intern Tamer is able to hunt 5 spiked boars in record time. He calls 11 a monster and assures everyone that a level 10 beast will be an easy win for this Iron Eater. Let me give this guy a point for being a believer. The eyelash guy asks if the broken eyebrow guy is talking about the 3 electric slimes which were transported a while ago. The cap guy suddenly looks surprised as the main proctor approaches their desks. Okay, game over. Let's pretend to go back to work, shall we? Rolling Thunder tries to join the conversation. He assures his underlings that the Tamer and his pet beast that they are observing would not be able to handle the slimes, but they are strong enough to be able to escape. Since slimes are slow, he knows that anyone who passed a high school physical examination can outrun those level 10 beasts. With the amount of supplements Shi Yu drinks, he should be able to do that, right? In addition, Zhou Wanshan thinks that in the case that this team defeats the electric slimes, the skill Electrocute will deal damage because of the strength and impact despite a proficient level harden. The actual level gap is too far. As usual, he asks his team to keep observing and to send out medics in case the intern Tamer foolishly decides to fight the electric slimes. The monitoring team understood. They understood that this meant less chit-chat and more guarding participants. No eyes see our top 1 participant find the electric slimes. The cat bag was shocked because they were just talking about it. What happened was Shi Yu used 11's nose to find more electric ores since the pet beast had already been accustomed to it after eating a lot. This nose led them to a cave which they entered without hesitation. 11 warns Shi Yu to look out after they see a glowing yellow ball suddenly appear in front of them. Its energy was so visible that you could hear the buzzing of the electricity. It turns out the thing was charging an attack and sent bolts of electricity right between the cave intruders, followed by an explosion that tossed the two out of balance. Shi Yu was not scared. Instead, he excitedly tells 11 that they finally found the first electric slime. The big yellow floating ball did not look happy seeing them. Shi Yu was so prepared for this situation. What a genius. He's always 5 steps ahead. He opens his backpack and brings out the non-conductive gloves he bought when the exam started. Shi Yu instructs 11 to grab the slime and squeeze it dry of electricity. He tells his Iron Eater that they will win if they give it their all in a boss fight. I think it will be harder to ask 11 to not give his all. 11 wears the gloves given by his tamer and starts to rush toward the electric slime. The electric slime will not go down easily as it sends out more bolts trying to hit the Iron Eater coming to challenge it. 11 dodges every buzz that tries to come his way. Super Sight for the win. It is no surprise that 11 was able to reach his opponent easily. But what is surprising is that 11 gets scared when he comes face to face with it. He thinks he will not be able to eat it. You were told to eat one weird thing, but you don't have to eat everything, my guy. The Iron Eater is able to hold the electric slime, which tries to repel him. Shi Yu approaches the battling beasts who instruct 11 to not let go and make his opponent release more electricity. The professional tamer audience did not know that non-conductive gloves were sold at the shop as they watched the fight closely. They are amazed by how smart Shi Yu is to the thought of the strategy they just witnessed, which allowed an Iron Eater to power through the electric slime's defense. By this time, they are sure that Shi Yu will get the points for the electric slime. Zhou Wanshan is still not impressed. He thinks that his colleagues are underestimating the slime. I wonder what it would take to impress the main proctor. Meanwhile, Shi Yu stands confidently and commands 11 to hold still so that their opponent does not run away. The electric slime makes no effort to escape. Instead, it starts to huff and puff. 11 was still holding it firmly, trying his best. The slime started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Is this amplify? This means that its strength is increasing. It has become bigger than 11. How will he be able to hold on? Shi Yu, who is prepared to deal with any situation, points a finger at 11. He tells his pet beast to use full body harden. 11 follows the order and quickly covers himself in armor. But the electric slime just continued to get larger. When will it stop? The counterattack begins. 11 reaches out to the big yellow ball again and touches it without hesitation. He resists the stronger pangs of electricity that his opponent is releasing and holds on tighter. Thud. The Iron Eater pushed the electric slime towards the wall. The electric slime seems to have taken a painful blow as it winces in pain. 11 is thrown back a little but remains steady. Size does not matter. Performance does. He sees his opponent struggle after hitting the rocks while he has scratches all over his body. The Iron Eater felt the pleasure of winning an exchange with this level 10 beast. The monitoring team became shoutcasters as they described this situation. The Iron Eater turned the situation around, but they think that it sustained damage as well. They predicted this fight, but seeing it happen is a whole different thing. The head proctor thinks that this is an even match that might end up with both beasts unconscious. 11 may be injured, but what these spectators do not know is that he has the skill Quick Heal. The Iron Eater roughs as he uses his regenerative skill to be back at full condition. When he is ready to rumble again, the electric slime is back on its feet. We finally have something that is not knocked out in one blow. A worthy opponent. 11 starts charging toward the cave boss again, all while dodging the electricity thrown at him. Left, right, left. The Iron Eater swiftly closes the distance and reaches the electric slime easily. His tamer is happy with this result and commands the pet beast again to squeeze the opponent dry of electricity. 11 follows instructions without any question. As this Iron Eater tries to absorb all the electric shock that the electric slime is throwing at him, the observers were wondering if a level 6 beast is at par with a level 10 beast because of how powerful a proficient level Harden is, if it is due to willpower alone, or if it is because of the amount of electric ores that the Iron Eater consumed. All of the above. The electric slime and 11 are still going at it, trying to see what is stronger, the electric shock or Harden. Who will give up first? 11 is not flinching. The electric slime continued to release electric charges until it cannot anymore. Seemingly running out of gas, the electric slime was surprised when it suddenly felt weaker and weaker. Swoosh swoosh, it decreases in size slowly, as if it is a deflating balloon. 11 lets go of the ball, whose spark is slowly disappearing. Shi Yu sees that the fight is now ending and starts walking closer to the battle arena. 11 falls on the ground while still holding the electric slime. He hugs his now sleeping opponent and informs Shi Yu that they did it. Shi Yu taps his pet beast on the back and tells him what a good job he did. He also does not let go of the opportunity to touch the slime to be able to copy its skills. Shi Yu sees that the slime has 2 skills. He does not need to think about it, and only copies Amplify. Amplify is recorded immediately. The tamer is happy with the skill he obtained and starts to stretch out the beast they just captured. The proctors see that the team they were observing is now toying with a knocked-out electric slime. Their expectations were not only met but exceeded. Everything they thought would happen did not happen. They had years of experience but were all equally terrified of the new intern Tamer and called his team monsters. Shi Yu does not know that they are currently being judged heavily and is only focused on the electric ores inside the cave. He was happy that 11 would have something to fill his stomach and that he had enough to take home. The Planet King communicates with the electric slime he has in hand. He gives it no choice but to eat 2 chunks of electric ores every day and instructs it to release the same amount of electricity it consumes. He does not give the defeated beast time to rest. What a dictator. Shi Yu shamelessly calls it an electricity generator, which will help 11 have resistance to electric attacks and improve his affinity to electricity. The tamer knows that Quick Heal will help 11 take on more electric shocks than he could, enabling this pet beast to train as much as he wants. Shi Yu imagines this is the perfect training regimen for 11. Electric Slime looks tired just hearing about this plan and thinks how inhuman this human is. Shi Yu does not care. He only cares about 11's training. He lets the beasts around him know that they will be resting in the cave and will continue training after eating dinner. 11 is very happy with the plan to train, but the electric slime is not as excited. The security team is shocked about what happened. Yan Shi watches this event unfold and remembers everything he taught Shi Yu just a while ago. It has not even been a day. What kind of monster did you unfold? Yan Shi did not expect Shi Yu to use the electric slime to train his Iron Eater. The Bamboo Rock Gym disciple thinks that telepathy is a crazy talent. Or maybe it's not the talent. Maybe it's just Shi Yu who's crazy to utilize his talent this way. The same puffing, buzzing, and whooshing sounds can be heard the following day in the magnetic zone. It's just the second day. Are these guys trying to break a record or something? Shi Yu, 11, and Wormy capture the 3 existing electric slimes in the mountain. These level 10 beasts are being held by Wormy's silk. The team looks at their captured balls and recalls how easily they did the remaining 2. 11 used the same technique they battled with the day before, using non-conductive gloves and full-body hardening. 11 punched, kicked, and held on to the electric slimes to capture them. The 3 electric slimes are being used for 11's training. Shi Yu feeds them so that they have enough energy to shock 11, but are not powerful enough to fight back. It sounds so brutal. From feared beasts, the electric slimes are now just training tools for an Iron Eater trying to gain resistance to electricity. 11 continues to eat electric ores while their captives shock him non-stop. The 3 slimes tied up in silk release electric charges toward the Iron Eater, and 11 does not really seem to mind it one bit. 11 closes his eyes and concentrates on the energy of the attacks he is receiving. He had the instinct to clap his hands together and clasp them as if saying a prayer. Suddenly, electricity runs through 11's paws, and he roughs in shock. He does not know what happened. Is he conducting the electricity that the slimes are showering him with through his body? No. The team hears a sudden prompt that 11 has learned the middle rank skill, Electric Palm. This was the skill that Yan Shi told them about, a skill that you can only learn in the dojo. Even Shi Yu seems surprised. The tamer looks at 11, who is generating electricity in the palm of his hands and is amazed at how his pet beast learned the skill by himself. Shi Yu stares at 11's palms closer and decides to pause the training to investigate more. Carrying the 3 electric slimes they captured, Shi Yu and 11 walk inside the safe zone. They start running towards Yan Shi when they see him. Little Bear was surprised to see Shi Yu approaching him urgently. They cannot contain their excitement at all. 11 immediately shows his electric palms, and Shi Yu asks if that is what the skill he was talking about looks like. Yan Shi looked electrocuted. No, he was not attacked by 11. Yan Shi discussed this skill yesterday as a background before they learned it at the gym. Add this person to the list of creatures that cannot believe 11's skill. While their new friend tries to make sense of everything, 11 generates electricity on his palm non-stop while eating electric ores. In an outburst, Yan Shi angrily tells Shi Yu that his tips alone should not be enough to be able to learn electric palm. Everyone in the bamboo rock gym should have learned this since they all feed electric ores and train their iron eaters with electricity. Little Bear looks so jealous because there are a lot of other steps needed to achieve electric palm, but these weirdos did it with simple materials in a day. He asks what makes 11 special. Shi Yu hugs his iron eater and casually tells Yan Qi that they are just hardworking. I don't know if that makes sense, but Yan Qi stares at them blankly and remembers that he watched them battle, eat, and train the whole time they were monitored. Shi Yu gets his confirmation that 11 has legitimately learned electric palm just by the funny reaction they got. He knows how impossible it looks, but he also knows how quick heal played a huge part in the speed at which 11 acquired his newest skill. Now, bear with us as we get back to Feng Shui expert mode. It will sound too technical, but I promise it will make sense. Quick heal is a wood-type skill that uses life force, which also symbolizes growth. It's lucky that in Feng Shui, thunder is the arousing trigram in the 8 trigrams. It faces east and is also considered a wood element, the same element as quick heal. In short, everything that 11 used to learn the electric palm is related to wood-type skills. Shi Yu assumes that there is an unknown reaction between the tools they utilized for 11, which made learning quicker. Shi Yu describes what happened as unconventional and mystical, just as unique as a hardworking iron eater and a tamer that can teach his pet beasts skills. Yan Qi has recovered from all the shock and jealousy he experienced, and verbally confirms that 11 has the electric palm skill, but lets Shi Yu know as well that it is at beginner level, based on how weak it still is. He teaches Shi Yu that when an iron eater's palm can withstand high voltage of electricity and get enough power to stun and pierce an opponent, that will be an indication of a powerful electric palm. I remember what happened when Yan Qi last taught this Shi Yu guy something. Do you? Shi Yu immediately understood the lesson. He was happy that he did not need to copy the skill at the gym and was equally surprised that 11 learned the skill. Our favorite logician now thinks about how he can utilize relationships between skills to make it easier to perfect. Like in a video game, we sometimes have skill branches. Allocate some points to know which skill you can learn next. He starts to think that because 11 learned electric palm, it would be easier for 11 to learn electricity skills. In addition, he has added the electric palm to the skills handbook. He thanks Iron Eater's efforts. 11 must be so happy. This is the first time that he will definitely feel that he alone worked hard to be able to gain a skill. The team gives their favorite security guard the 3 electric slimes they hunted and used as tools until they weren't needed anymore. Yan Qi asked if Shi Yu plans to go back to the magnetic zone. The enthusiastic ore collector shows his backpack and declares that he thinks that there are not many electric ores left. Shi Yu keeps surprising Yan Qi. Give this man's heart a rest. Shi Yu does not hand over the ores for points though. Yan Qi starts to call someone while thinking about how high of a score Shi Yu could have gotten if he had given the electric ores. He thinks 11 would be eating everything. Little Bear's call is received by Master Lin, who asks him why he called. The gym leader was brought up to speed. Yan Qi was able to pass his message yesterday. He tells Master Lin how Shi Yu's Iron Eater ate all the electric ores in the mountain, how Shi Yu captured 3 electric slimes to train 11, and how the Iron Eater learned electric palm. And now, another person is added to the list of creatures that cannot believe this intern Tamer and his Iron Eater's capabilities. This team does not know what the word tired means. They head out again. This time, their target is to find something for the green cotton worm to eat because it has not eaten properly in the 2 days that they had been in the mountain. They run through the forest to search for a reward for Wormy, which was a great help during this test. The little guy is so honored to be given attention. Wormy's evolution is something that Shi Yu has been planning to do. The normal route tamers go through is waiting for green cotton worms to reach level 9 or 10 before starting to prepare evolution materials. It was known that giving rare materials is inefficient if the worm is not yet ready to form a cocoon. Wormy is so small, but it seems to be the most complicated beast to raise. Green cotton worms learn a new skill while inside a cocoon, and they need the nourishment. But before that stage, the only useful skill that they have is silk. Shi Yu thinks of himself as an unconventional tamer as he tries to think outside the box. Shi Yu already has an attack pet beast that was raised using a standard method which learned, and will continue to learn, great fighting skills. His real experiment will be this green cotton worm, which he can teach a unique combo of skills in addition to the higher possibility of it evolving into a rare and practical species. Morphohelena butterfly has been introduced to him, and evolving Wormy to that species will make it a good support-type beast with versatile skills that range from light control and illusions. However, Shi Yu is also getting swayed to make it evolve into a sovereign-rank beast called Ice Phoenix Butterfly. If he succeeds, it will make him the first one to do so in their nation. Shi Yu's true dream is for Wormy to evolve into a beast that can learn rare attributes such as space or time-related skills. Time traveling, portal opening, teleportation for escape, or anything that can give all his beasts a boost. Anything is really possible on Blue Planet. He starts to think of all evolution pathways at the same time, so he tries to ground himself again and heads back to the basics: evolution materials. He has no idea where to get evolution materials, and he knows that it is hard to get rare skills and items as well. The MC plans to utilize the influence of Department 11 in this aspect, but he needs to pass this test first, pass probation, then use everything that Department 11 can offer. After having his imagination all over the place, Shi Yu decides to focus on what he can do now. He remembers that he should make Wormy learn the silk at the highest level possible before thinking of evolution. Shi Yu starts to look at the hunting handbook given for the exam and studies what he can get in the mountains while 11 plays with butterflies. It is a moment of bliss. Shi Yu sees that dragon whisker is available, a yellow and white level 1 spiritual plant. It is a very delicious food for beasts with skills like silk, and can help improve the durability and sharpness of produced products. The perfect reward for our silk-producing friend. Fortunately, the team is near the area where the dragon whisker can be found. Shi Yu urges his pet beast to run toward where the spiritual plant is. Meanwhile, it seems like trouble is brewing. The team is unaware that a violet beast with multiple eyes is hiding in the trees, rustling branches as it moves. Our adventurers find the dragon whisker first, growing in an open field and still unaware of the danger. 11 looks at the unique plant. Kind of looks like electricity, but nope, it's not yours. Shi Yu lets Wormy know that the plant is his dinner. Before they can pick up the plant, a shadow jumps above where they are standing. Wormy's reward has to wait. A creature appears before them. It looks like a spider, super big, has 8 legs, and has creepy eyes. Foosh. The violet beast lurking releases a long thread. That is definitely a spider. 11 stands in the way of the thread and is Tamer. Shi Yu was surprised that his Iron Eater was able to defend him. 11 is helplessly captured and dragged toward the violet beast. Now that the spider-looking thing has landed on the ground, we can see that its body looks like a face with an open mouth and 2 glowing violet eyes. Shi Yu recognizes it as a fiendish wolf spider, which is worth 4,000 points. He wonders if the beast is there to defend the dragon whisker they want. He urgently puts his hand forward and commands 11 to use Harden to cut the spider's silk with his hardened fur. The Iron Eater acknowledges the order and follows Shi Yu's plan. He breaks free from the spider's silk easily. They just defeated 3 level 10 electric slimes in the last 24 hours. This shall not scare them. Shi Yu confidently treats this beast as another tool to test the new skill and commands 11 to use Electric Palm. Will a beginner level Electric Palm be able to put a scratch on a level 10 beast?